Okay, Insanity Live instructors, it is time to talk about one of my favorite things, music. As you guys know, I named my kids after musicians. Music is something that is near and dear to my heart. There is nothing that pumps you up more than a great instructor and awesome music. How many times have you been in a class and you hear a song come on and you're like, that is it, like that's my jam, and you push harder and go faster and you dig deeper. And that's exactly what we bring you in this Insanity Live format. We have popular songs that have been covered by some great artists. You'll recognize the music and so will your class. You guys will all have a great time while you are getting a great workout. So our Insanity Live music has different time indicator sound effects that cue each move and each recovery period. When we did that masterclass this morning, you may remember, if you're not too foggy, you may have remembered hearing an air horn that let you know when it was time to switch exercises, that siren when it let you know that it was time for a break. You may remember hearing Sean T's beautiful voice saying it's time to focus. That was when we were jogging out and when we were about to start, when we were getting out of our warm-up and about to start our blocks. I know you heard Sean's voice when he said it was time for power. And maybe you remember hearing that bell, that halfway point between our power move. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play some of the music for you now. I want you to raise your hand when you hear that air horn. Remember what that means. The air horn means that we're going to move on to our next exercise in that set. Ready? Yeah, you can fist bump. That's cool. Yeah. All right, you just heard that air horn. That was that signal that we were moving from one exercise to the next one in our set. Now what I want to play for you is I want to play Sean's voice when he says it's time for power. So let's go ahead and listen to this. So we're working hard, we're digging deep, we're letting our class know this is the time that they're owning it, they're owning these moves, they're making it their own. We're right next to them, maybe we're running next to them, we're pushing them a little bit faster, we're letting them know that they've got this to keep it going. We let them know that that power move is coming up. Okay, there we heard it's time for power, and we heard that double air horn. So we know it's time for that power move and it's time to get going. In this power move, remember that we have that 30-second bell. So they're working, they're pushing really super hard. They're doing their 4 jump ropes and their 4 Heismans. You're cheering them along. You're letting them know that they can do this, that they should dig deep. Now is the time to go ahead and dig deep, to push faster, to really get those moves right, to crunch their bellies in that Heisman. And maybe you're going up to them. Oh, there's your bell. You're going to let them know that it's their halfway point, that they're almost there. They're almost there. And they'll thank you for that. Remember I mentioned that there's a siren at the end of the move? So it lets you know the siren signifies our rest period. Let's listen to this. So at this point, they've got 30 seconds left in their power move. You're next to them. You're shouting to them that they can do this. You're encouraging them to dig deep. Maybe you're correcting a little bit of form because we're in the power section. But we're almost there, about 15 seconds remaining. Great thing that you're not keeping track. You don't have to keep count because that siren lets you know and lets your class know that it's time for that 30-second break. So that it's time for them to high-five their neighbors, to grab a sip of water, and to maybe towel off. These cues are already built in for you. And I'm not sure if you noticed this, but right at the end of our warm-up that we did 2 times through, we heard Sean's voice say, it's time to focus. And we were just jogging it out, and that was going to let us know that the rest was in front of us. We were focusing on what we were about to do to have a great workout. We'll play a little game with this in a little bit, but first I just want to go over something else about our music with you. As I mentioned, they are cover songs of popular music that you're going to hear on the radio. Each Insanity Live round comes with new music. That is actually one of the biggest benefits of being an instructor, and especially of being on Pro Team, because you are going to get these new rounds every other month when they come out. So they do come here on this CD. What I do as soon as I get this round is I immediately transfer it to my iTunes on my Mac laptop, and I just got one of these, just like a little thing that you like plug in. You put the CD right in here, and it just uploads right into your iTunes. I think it was like $20, and it was totally worth the investment. So you're gonna load your music up, and what I do is I listen to it in the car. I have a CD player in my car still, or download it to my iTunes, and I'm listening to the music all the time in my car. I just like to know when those cues are coming up, but again, like, this is not something that needs to overwhelm you at all, because those cues are already built in. This is not something that you have to watch your clock for, or write down on your hand while you're teaching. Everything is right there for you, and it is so easy. So you're going to be a Pro Team member, and you're going to be getting these every other month. Something else about our Insanity Live formats. So our music is designed specifically for this Insanity Live round, but you can mix and match the music in the rounds. So if I like the music for plyometrics and speed for round 19, but then I really like strength and stability songs from round 18, I can mix and match those songs as long as we keep those moves in there. So those moves for round 19 go with the round 19 music. Round 18 music goes with round 18 moves. Our Insanity Live music is our own responsibility to purchase. So while sharing is caring, that's not the case in this position. Our music to purchase is our responsibility. So we are all going to buy our own music, our own Insanity Live round music, and we're not going to share it with anybody else. And we're also not going to use it in any of the other formats that we teach. I love this music, and I would love to include it in a spin class, but that's just not how we work. Our Insanity Live music goes with Insanity Live, so we don't put it in any other formats that we teach, Turbo Fire or P90X, not that you would need it because their music is awesome too, and we're not going to use it in our HIIT classes or our other group fitness classes. These are just for our Insanity Live rounds, and it is so worth it, you guys. And your class will get to know the music that's coming up, and they're going to know the exercises that are coming with it, and you might hear this like, oh man. And that's kind of nice, because you know that they're really working really hard and they're pushing themselves, and you just got to be there to let them know to continue to push a little bit harder, to dig a little deeper, and to get the results that they want for themselves, that they deserve in their lives. So we're going to go ahead now and we're going to play a little game with cues. I'm going to play the music, and when you hear that air horn, you're going to raise your right hand. When you hear the siren, that you know that's the end of the round, you'll go ahead and raise your left hand. When you know it's time for power, I'm going to have you put both arms up in the air. And when you hear that siren, that 30-second bell for that halfway point, I want you to just throw your hands up, and you can just do your best Jersey fist bump, because you're like, yeah, I got 30 seconds left. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play that music for you.